Hey folks, today we are going to the Queen's Botanical Garden in Flushing, New York. Come along and join me. On the way there, you might see some familiar things. You're gonna pass the New York Times building, which is pretty darn cool. You might also pass a remnant or two from the past. Here we see Toys R Us and Party City, which is now Party Wow. Great. Off in the distance is none other than Manhattan. It's a pretty cool view, actually. If you're into baseball, you pass Citi Field too, which used to be Shea Stadium, where the Mets play. And if you're a history fan, you will also see the Unisphere in Flushing Meadows Corona Park. That's all the way back from the World's Fair. It's pretty interesting, and I'd like to visit it again sometime. Maybe make a video about it. A little history video. Okay, and here we are. Welcome to Queen's Botanical Garden. First, we enter the herb garden. This is probably the most special part of the entire garden, if you ask me. There's just something about it. Like, you can interact with it a lot more. You could, smell the herbs. Sometimes, if you meet the gardener, you might be able to try like a strawberry or something like that that's growing there. It's really great. And yeah, it's home to herbs and natural remedies and stuff that have been used by many different cultures. You'll see things that are used popularly in Asia or by Native Americans. It's pretty cool. We are now going to be approaching the Visitor and Administration Building, also known as the V&A, but right before that, you have a little pond. There's fishies in it too. Don't forget to sit on the steps and watch them a little bit. They're really fun to watch. So yeah, a cool thing about the V&A is that there's little tables and seats in front of it, so if you want to grab some lunch from town or a snack or something like that, you can bring it over here and just hang out. We got some ASMR action happening here as I walk. when you visit the garden, don't forget to go to the left of where I am right now, around kind of a hidden corner, and check out the green roof. I didn't get a chance to go up there this time, but it's pretty cool. And you can learn a little bit of kind of the science of how a sustainable green roof works. Now this is pretty amazing. So this tree that I'm going to show you in a couple seconds right here, that is actually a remnant of, I believe, the buildings that got destroyed in 9/11. And so they made some like different art pieces from the scrap metal to kind of be like a living, lasting memorial. And here we have a map of the garden. It's not that big of a garden. Out of the 3 that are known to be in New York City, this is definitely the smallest one, but it's got a lot of personality to it as well. And as you can see here, this river is supposed to represent a river that ran through this section of the garden way before it was even thought of to be built here. So down here to the left is the fragrance walk. It's not paved or anything, so that's why that sign is there. But yeah, I didn't go down it because there's not really anything that is smelling right now, but in the spring, if you go down that path, it's very nice. All different flowers are blooming, and it's very smelly in a good way. And right now we're approaching the woodland and the wetland area, as you can see on the sign. I feel like this part of the garden is kind of underrated, but it's also very nice because it feels like you're in a forest a little bit, which is pretty cool. You can check out these animals that are on that little sign there if you want to try to find any of them. You'll definitely find some of them. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, it's definitely more known to see squirrels all over the place. Don't get too close to them though, because they've kind of learned to eat from people, so they might think that you have food in your hand or something like that. So yeah, be careful. Like, people have gotten bitten by squirrels here, and it's not the squirrels' fault, it's really because people feed them. Sometimes you might find an occasional rat. You will definitely see butterflies. You will see bees of any kind. Yeah, all different kinds of insects. I saw a cicada right over here the other day.
Maintenance, go ahead.
Sorry, I know I'm focusing on these lilies for a long time. I'm trying to get a picture of them, which you'll see at the end of the video, actually. Ooh, what do we have here? Ooh, it's a pretty bench. It's actually a really pretty bench. But it's also a dead end, so gotta turn around and go back. Sigh. So to the right at this moment is the perennial garden, home to plants that will come back every year, if you're not familiar with the term. This is a relatively new part of the garden, the perennial garden is. Yeah, and then as we keep going, now to the right, and soon to be to the left as I make this turn, is the annual garden, which is home to both perennials and annuals. So annuals are plants that you have to plant every year, pretty much. They won't come back unless they happen to seed in. But yeah. And here we have the rose garden, which unfortunately was not in full bloom. We're a bit past that point, but when it is in full bloom, it looks very pretty. So if you decide to visit the garden, you will no doubt, if you come in the morning for sure, you will no doubt see Tai Chi groups, which is very unique to this garden. And it's kind of what makes it more of a community type feel. But yeah, as you can see, there are multiple groups just kind of taking in the nice day doing Tai Chi. They play very relaxing music too, as you can hear. And as I walk up this little hill, I'm passing the bee garden to the left, which we can't enter. But yeah, as I go straight, we are entering the arboretum section of the garden. So that it kind of is just a fancy word for an area with a lot of trees. And yeah, so this is home to the orchard, which is right where we are right now, and it's called that because there's many crab apples. It's a type of tree which is right in front of us. All those short-ish trees are crab apple trees, but they're very old. And yeah, actually that part is going to be made into a new education building soon. And right here we have the wedding garden, which we also can't enter. You can only enter for special occasions, like if you are having your wedding here or something like that, or if you're on a special tour or something. So yeah, right now we are walking around the children's garden. So that's what's behind the fence. So there's a lot of programs for kids here. If you're in the area, it's definitely worth checking out. And with that, we are kind of coming to a close with our little tour around the garden. So the Queen's Botanical Garden, like I said, it's not huge. You could definitely do it in a couple hours and kind of take all, the sights in. You can have a picnic if you want, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's $6 to enter, which is not very much at all. If you get a membership, I believe it's $30. It's anywhere from $26 to $30 for a year. And that gets you into QBG. It also gets you into New York Botanical Garden, and I believe also the Brooklyn Botanical Garden, so that's a pretty good deal if you ask me. And yeah, there's a lot of volunteer days that you could come and be a part of the action. They do movie nights, all different things are going on. So yeah, this is something to do in New York City. Check it out. Also, if you're interested, I just started a podcast on Spotify called Teach Me About ... Check that out. And yeah, see you later.